Hey guys, and welcome to Wellness Wisdom Wednesdays. Woohoo! I probably need a name that I don't forget. But anyway, welcome. I can't even remember what we talked about last week. I think it was. No, I can't remember. It's gone. Hey Donna, lovely to have you join me live. How you doing? How are you coping with the energies? Let's have a little chat about the energies because there's been some really intense stirring up energy going on, which has been really, really good to work with in that it brings anything that has been hidden or unseen to the surface. I think we're working a lot with that Scorpio energy and the 11 month with the 11s going on and the ones and preparing for next year, and it feels like there's a whole lot of stuff happening at the moment, which has been interesting. I've been feeling really like moving with it. It's been really, really good. If you're catching me live, I can't actually see who's on unless you say hello. So feel free to type in and say hello. Today on Wellness Wisdom, I wanted to talk a little bit about Donna saying she's been really good, wondering whether it's going to bite me later. I know I've been feeling a bit the same, but I feel like I'm working with the energies. And I think sometimes when some of us are up and some of us are down, depending on what's going on in our lives and where we're at. And sometimes we're working with the energies and sometimes those energies are working with us. Hi, Simone. Lovely to have you join me. And MJ. Hi, guys. So today I wanted to talk about different pathways in the body and the difference in medications and medicines. So our bodies are multidimensional. We are very interconnected. We're not separate little parts, up and down at the same time. Yeah, it's a bit like that, MJ, isn't it? Feeling those different things. I feel like the inside of me is feeling really, really great, and the sometimes the outside is going, what is going on? So I love your little spider you put there in your web, MJ. I've got to find that on my my keyboard, see if I can find them. That's so cute. Okay, so our bodies are connected. Where every part of us is connected, and there's many different layers to our bodies. So we've got this physical body, but we've also got our energetic bodies and our emotional body and our mental body. And when we are using medications or medicines, now I talk about medicines from a place of working with plant medicine or animal medicine as well, or earth medicine. So anything that is supporting us and we're coming into a relationship with, a connection with, I class as a medicine. So when I am working with plant medicine or animal medicine, I find that you're working with a whole being. And that whole being is interacting with our whole being. And so we might, and I've noticed this with herbs, we've gone through a process of teaching about plant medicine in a very Western medical understanding of here's the symptom, an equation basically, here's the symptom or here's the diagnosis, here's the medicine for that. And we just follow this formula. I think we get lost or we lose the wisdom of those plants. And we even when we go and take herbs, you know, it's really important to get to know where those herbs come from, to work with the whole plant medicine, because that is what you're getting when you're taking it in. You're not just getting the anti-inflammatory effects of it, say, or the it's boosting your immune system. There are other aspects of that plant that you are working with, that your body is working with. And so it's really, really good to start to come into a relationship with any medicine that you are taking into your being. When we look at Western medicine, and there is no right or wrong here. I think there is a time and a place for everything. I think we overuse them, and again, we go with this same formula thing of this is a symptom or diagnosis, this is the medication. You know, it's an equation. It's very linear. And we're having a lot of changes happening where the divine feminine is coming in, which is our right brain, which is creative and doesn't always follow this linear pattern. It brings in a bit of chaos, and it brings in a spiral, and it brings in a connection that we have been missing. I think there is huge benefit to both of these modalities. So if we call it alternative or natural medicine and our Western medicine coming together, I think I really look forward to the day when that happens, because I think there'll be magic. I think people will be able to receive healing in a full way. But when we are taking a chemical medicine, so say we're taking an antidepressant or even a Panadol for pain relief, those medicines are normally, and a lot of them even are taken from plant medicine, but we have separated the one compound. And the same with vitamins. We take one little compound or one aspect from the plant or the animal, whatever is being used, and we put that into a medicine. When we're taking that into our body, it is just one pathway. It doesn't have the whole being connected to that. In fact, when we're taking in those medicines, we must remember that we're taking in the energy of why they were created and who's been creating them. So a lot of those, yes, perfect, Donna. Donna's saying one big issue is the disconnection of the active ingredients from the source, i.e. the plant, and then the synthesization of that active ingredient. That's right. So there's a lot of things that mix together in when you take a whole plant that are working to create a whole effect or create more than just the separate chemical compounds or the active ingredients, the separation of them. And we don't get that aspect when we're taking in Western medicine. Sometimes we do need just that one pathway. Hi, Anna. Lovely to have you join us. Sometimes we really just need that one pathway. But we must remember to come into conscious relationship with it. Be really conscious of what we're taking in, because so often we just take what we're being given. So we go to a doctor, and many of the times we even go to a naturopath or a healer. I know that for me, I had to start putting some boundaries on, because people would just come unconsciously to be healed and not be active participants in their own healing. And it's really important to come into relationship with what we are taking into our body, whether it's energy healing or Western medical healing or plant medicine or herbs, whatever it is, or even the food we're eating. We need to come into an active, conscious relationship with it. And so, hi, Lysandra. Lovely to have you join me. So think about what you're taking in, and think about when we are working with plant medicine or even animal medicine and earth medicine, the plant themselves, you might have a plant that is grown in one area of the world, and it might be exactly the same plant or herb grown in another part of the world, and yet they will have two different energies because of the environment that they're growing in. And we need to become conscious about this and become really aware of what we're taking in, because you might use a herb that's come from one area and it doesn't feel quite aligned with you, and yet you can take it from another area and it does. There's a lot of wisdom in looking what is growing around you and coming into relationship with that, what is going on in the environment around you, because the environment around you is supporting you. And so the universe... let's see, Nikki Bridgeford, yes, active conscious relationship is vital. Yeah, I really think so, especially when we want to heal fully, when we want to come into a really high level of wellness and vitality. And that's where I think the Western medicine although there's a place for it, it cannot get you to that really high level of vitality because it has already been broken down to a part, to just one aspect. And so we are whole beings. We're not just one little aspect of ourselves. And so when we want to come into fullness of our wellness and our vitality, we really need to support ourselves with other things that are full of in themselves and full of vitality. So we need to become conscious and start learning about this. You know, there's not a lot of mainstream education on this. You know, I come across a lot of people who don't quite understand that. They go and they get, and even like I was saying, even from energy healers and things like that, where we're just taking in these and being told what to take without being conscious of it. This is the same with our relationships. You know, how often are we really conscious of the relationships we have created in our lives or that we have in our lives? And are we becoming a little bit more discerning about what is in full alignment with ourselves? When we're looking at healing and wellness, we're normally, if there is any illness going on, we're normally going from one paradigm and shifting to a new one. We're moving through a portal and a doorway. And so it's really important to look at what is it that we are happy to align with in our illness state or our disconnected state, separated state, because that's really what it is. It's just an aspect of ourselves that's a little bit disconnected. And what can we do to bring ourselves into connection, into full alignment with ourselves in this new way? And so we need things that are going to help support us in that full alignment, including our relationships. And so that's where sometimes you see, you know, if you're going through a big health crisis, you'll find that relationships will fall away. I notice that happens a lot when people go through the loss of a loved one too, when they're going through grief. The relationships will shift and change, and some will fall away and some will develop because we're moving our frequency, we're moving our vibration to a different level. What else? I'm getting told there's all this information coming in today, lots of downloads. And they're not quite in. That's all right. Has anybody got any questions? I love your sharing, guys, with it. I think I'm speaking to the already converted. I think you guys have got all of this. Exactly. And with Western medicine, usually what the pill prescribed is the side effects are worse than the initial problem. Yes, I've found that too. I'm super sensitive on divine timing on this for you. Awesome, MJ. Yeah. I find that there's a sensitivity that runs in my family. My poor brother can't take Panadol. Any paracetamol actually stops his heart, and trying to get Western medicine when he's had to be, you know, he's been in hospital for a couple of times over his lifetime, and trying to get them to understand, and many of the time they don't, and they've stopped his heart on a few occasions. And that's one of the side effects for him, but it's not a normal side effect. But there is, and then you have to take another pill for that. There is also side effects with herbs and plant medicine, but I find that they can be a lot more limited because you're working with a whole energy. And so it is not just our bodies are able to understand it. We've developed alongside and evolved alongside plants. And so our bodies know that make up that constitution, that medicine. Also, for those who are sensitive, you can use, you can work with plant and animal and earth medicine. If I just put it all under the banner of earth medicine, you can work with those without taking it into your physical body. So you can just work with the consciousness of the plant and come into relationship with it. And that can be a gentler way of experiencing its healing benefits. I'm glad that this is divine timing for you, MJ, on this. That's awesome. Okay. Now, there was something else that we were talking about, and it has gone. It still doesn't. It mustn't be for today. That's all right. So I encourage you guys to think about the conscious relationships that you're having with the people around you, with what you're taking into your body. If we talk about food, it's the same thing. You know, that food is when we're eating a whole plant, we're getting a lot more than just a certain vitamin or one, you know, little aspect of it. we're getting so much more of that plant. And an experience I had was we've got a beautiful tree. Coming off some medicine, MJ. Yeah. So there might be ways of doing that, MJ, that will support your body. And we can talk about that more if you want afterwards. Or you know, there are other ways to support your body. You might be able to find some other ways that will help you with that. But I had this experience. We've got a beautiful mulberry tree out the back, and it was full of mulberries. It was so abundant, and I was just having this really deep experience of abundance each time I went and picked some mulberries off the tree. And I was really aware of how fruit itself has a energy of abundance. You know, like if you pick a piece of fruit off a tree, it doesn't damage the tree at all. You know, the tree keeps growing, and it just, each year there are more and more fruit on the tree. And so I was coming into this beautiful relationship with abundance through the mulberries, you know. And when we think about our food feeding us more than just the nutrients, more than just the vitamins, more than just the minerals, we're getting more into our bodies, where there's a relationship happening, there's a conversation happening between us and the food. You know, when I eat chocolate or Doritos, not so much abundance coming in with that conversation. That's normally a conversation of, I'm depleted and I need some nourishment on some level, and this is doing for now, you know. Hey, baby. My beautiful husband's on live. Lovely to have you. And Peta, hey, gorgeous. I loved your photo this morning. I could feel all that creative energy. I don't know, well, I saw it this morning on Facebook, but I loved all the creative energy in your space. Isn't it been beautiful? I think all this chaotic energy is also bringing about a lot of creativity when we're working with it. So yay. So yeah, guys, think about coming into conscious relationship with everything you're taking into your body or bringing into your environment. You know, like we could even go as far as, you know, the house you live in, the furniture you bring into your space, you know, the sacred items. I've started becoming really, really... Donna's saying junk food can be comforting or a coping mechanism. Yes, I agree. There are some times when my body is... needing that numbing for a little bit until I find something else or a reason or work through why I want to be numbed. Mulberry creativity for you. Yes. It's beautiful. It just, beautiful energy. Yes. Yeah, so we could look at the energy of all the things that we bring into our space. So I've started over the years to become consciously aware of the items I have in my house. You know, how do they feel to me? Are they sacred? What energy do they bring in? So we could even go to that extent in our lives, coming into relationship with everything around us. So I think that's everything, guys. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope that has helped and, you know, brought up a little bit of conversation and thinking about it and becoming a little bit more conscious, and areas that we might be able to shift and change what we're in relationship with. Does that mean I can leave the kids outside? Is that as an alternative to the coping mechanism of the junk food, Donna? Well, that's what I found. Like, actually, while I was away in Perth, I had a really awesome experience. Thank you, Peta. Of running around with my granddaughter. And of course, they're on you all day. And not that she's on me, because she's not a very clinging child. But you're with them all day. And I noticed that as my kids are now older, I have a lot more space to have my own space, my own energy field, not so full of theirs. And I noticed how when they were little, I experienced a lot of things that were coping mechanisms to deal with that, because I couldn't separate from them so easily. So I had a really good experience of, oh wow, look how much space I have in my life and how much I've needed that space, which I didn't understand when my kids were little. I didn't know myself as well as I do now. Maybe they're not sacred enough to be allowed inside. Well, yeah, sometimes they're not. Especially teenage boys can be a little bit smelly, not so sacred. Yeah. Isn't that lovely? Okay. Okay, I think that's everything, guys. Thank you so much. Loved having chat with you all and having you all in this sacred space. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your week. And yeah, see you next week. Mwah. Bye.